Welcome to ZBTR TV. The goal is to unearth and document the Zambian narrative in the best way possible.
Catch us live every Saturday on Facebook and YouTube.
We broadcast every Saturday at 10 a.m. EST, 7 a.m. PT.
With a growing audience across the globe, we connect Zambians and share resources abroad.
Be part of our journey. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
With a growing audience across the globe, we connect Zambians and share resources abroad.
The ZBTR TV show.
Did you know? Less than 10% of our viewers are subscribed. Don't miss out. Be part of the community. Mark your calendars. Every Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Flow live.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to ZBT. I've been waiting for this day like you have no idea. I'm sure you're like, why? First of all, the panel of guests I have with me are all dear friends of mine, very dear friends of mine. And I won't even hesitate to say this. I love them to death. But what I'm planning to do today is to get them into a fight. I'm going to make it very clear from the beginning. I'm looking forward to this. Welcome to the show. It's Saturday, February 7th. Believe it or not, we are 6 months from election day. If you want to count February, it makes it 7, since we're at the beginning of February, so we shall count February as well, 7 months. So the theme, of course, Zambia decides 2026. And is the opposition imploding? How many times have we heard the opposition say they are coming up with a flag bearer? That's the terminology, right? They are coming up with a flag bearer. Like my grandmother would say, awe na lelo tuchidi tulelo. You can tell that I'm so excited today. Okay, Mr. Daka. Mauka Bwanji.
Tauka,
Tidiko, Texas, the one and only, Mr. Francis Kombe.
Yeah.
For my Bemba friends, I like to say, Shani Yama Mashuke.
Yeah, I'm very much looking Thank you for having me, and good morning, Wadaka.
Good morning. Good morning.
This man also who has become more than a friend, but a brother and family. Like I said, all three of them are my brothers. And you tell from the way they'll be responding what their political affiliations are. I'm not going to say. I won't say. You just tell. So this is the theme. The theme is the opposition imploding? I know we all know what imploding is, right? Chatobaika. Is that the right way? Wadaka, if we group Dick school. Chabunda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kubunda is basically collapsing itself.
Collapsing itself. All right.
Yeah.
Collapsing from inside.
Oh, yes. That's even a better one. So is the opposition collapsing within inside, or there's an underhand and the way Mingalato at work from the ruling party, which is UPN? But we don't want to assume that everybody understands what Mingalato is. So Bakombe, you told me what is Mingalato? Help somebody watching. Help Dr. Munsa understand the Mingalato.
Thank you so much, Kama, and good morning to my comrade, Master Alan Navadaka. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Imingalato simply means tactics.
Okay.
clever tactics, imingalato muchivemba. So Mingalato simply means that strategy, tactics, moves. Imingalato. Imingalato is not a negative. It's neither a negative or a positive thing.
Okay.
It can go either way depending on how you say it and what you mean. But Mingalato simply means tactics and strategy. Simply.
Somebody said it's mainly used in soccer.
Correct.
Is that
correct? Correct.
So
for
in
instance,
soccer terms,
for instance, in a soccer game, you can say, for instance, my team today won, Manchester United. We can say, they've won the game today. It doesn't mean they cheated. It doesn't mean anything. It just means strategically they were better than the other side. That's exactly what it means.
Okay, thank you. I hope I know Clotilde doesn't need explanation for this. She's but I wanted you to explain it for Dr. Munsanje. Vadaka.
Yes.
Upnd. Let's get into this. We're not going to waste time.
Yeah.
Is Upnd government playing a role? Is the Upnd, to our word, is the Upnd playing a Mingalato in the opposition's internal conflicts?
Yeah.
Or go ahead. Is the Upnd playing tactics in Mingalato in the?
Yeah. So again, thank you very much, Pastor Nathan and Mr. Kombe and Pastor Ellen. Thank you so much. I was here a few weeks ago and we had a very good conversation. So, and I think there were some people who were suggesting, Pastor, you can spice it up. You can bring people with conflicting beliefs. And here we are.
You are the one who actually said that, and I listened. I'm a good student.
Yes.
I'm a good student.
Yes, because my goal actually is I am not in opposition. And to tell you the truth, I have been in the United States for a while, like most of you guys, and I never voted in Zambia. So I'm not patriotic front. And I need to preface that from the beginning. But I'm a true believer of the truth will set you free. Right off the bat, without wasting a lot of time, I disagree with the definition of imingalato, right? Like chess has rules. You know, the game of chess has rules. You move your pieces and all the pieces move in a certain way, right? There's the knight, there's the pawn, they move in a certain way. Now, if you just move like a pawn from one end of the board and you go put it next to the queen and you take down the queen and you say Mingalato. No, you're not following the rules of Mingalato. Mingalato must have, we know that there's political strategy. We know that. We know that even in businesses, even in family, in our personal lives, we have strategy, but we have to follow the rules, right? So the definition of Mingalato in this case is not used correctly. These people, they have done, actually, they've broken all the rules. We used to respect, let's say, the date, like ECL. They're not respecting that, right? But before I continue with that,
how are they? Don't worry about it. We are not going to follow the script. As we go.
Yeah.
Remember, I've made my position. I've made my position clear from the beginning. My intention is to get you, my loved friends, to get into a fight.
So like Edgar Lungu, for example, right? He himself complained several times. They are blocking me from going to the hospital to fly for medication. We saw where he was yanked out of the plane. We don't do that under the rules of Zambia. We care about people's health. Even as of now, we've never seen anything like that where they have gone to South Africa and sued the country of Zambia, sued the family to block like a burial. That's not the rules. That's not our tradition. Even in soccer, you don't just start kicking people in the head and you say, well, you have to follow the rules. Now, which is what I want to say. I want to paint a picture of what
are the rules
today.
What are the rules, Vadak? What are the rules the UPND is breaking?
For example, I just told you they're breaking the rules of Ubuntu, right? And the second thing, that's the first thing, Ubuntu. We as Zambians, we are Wakato Ubuntu. And the other thing is, see, they've come up with this strategy where they probably know they're incapable of fixing the country, and they have a strategy of misleading the nation instead of informing the nation. This is not when they wrote the Constitution of Zambia. They didn't write it for some. They assumed there's going to be a good man in that position that will follow our tradition, that will not lie to us, but who have strategy. President Kaunda has strategy. All these presidents have strategy. Now, Pastor, allow me, because I want to paint a picture today.
Okay. Go.
To me, and I appreciate the audience. I know it's Saturday and you could be spending time somewhere else, but you chose to spend time with us. This is a true testament for the love you have for our country, right? The love you have for the only one country that you have here on earth, right? So I look at Hakainde Hichilema, okay, and Edgar Lungu. Zambia, Mother Zambia, a beautiful country, was married to Edgar Lungu, right? And Edgar Lungu married.
More. Okay,
we refer to Zambia as she, right? She's a beautiful woman, like most Zambian women, beautiful. And was married to Edgar Lungu. And when they were married to Edgar Lungu, under Edgar Lungu, there was infrastructure, right? You could see the airports, they're there. You see the roads, they're there, right? And although there was issues, like any marriage is not perfect, there was issues, but it was bearable, right? Now there came another man. He said, this man, your father, is not a good father. I can take care of you better than him. I will actually build infrastructure.
I'll fix it.
I will, hold on, Pastor. I will build infrastructure. I will make sure you eat 3 meals a day. I'll fix the dollar by 2 o'clock. I'll fix the dollar. He promised. He promised that load shedding will go. In fact, he told us, calling me father is old fashioned. Call me Barry. And he said, Barry will fix it. Okay. Now we've been waiting for this new father to fix it. And this father is not he's not trying to fix it. He's trying to make us feel like he's fixed it. Right? Then that is where we have lost hope, because his goal is to make you feel like he's fixed it. You know, like in a house, your children are complaining that, Daddy, we are hungry. And you say, well, we know. You see what I mean? And that is what God is, his presidency is about messaging. And I hope there's someone here that will help clarify this. This whole thing is about messaging. And lastly, Pastor, bear with me. I took a class one time when I used to work at PepsiCo, right? And I used to be in management. And part of the thing in PepsiCo there, they tell you have to beat Coca-Cola. That's the whole goal. We spend time there. Pepsi Blue, our goal is to beat Coca-Cola. Now there is a question they ask. The first question they ask in management, they say, all right, you are a manager, we want to beat Coca-Cola. What would you do? They give you 4 options. The first one is study the accounting of Coca-Cola so you can know their books. The second one is know the formula on how to make Coke. You know, Coke has a formula. You know the formula, right? And then there's another one where you study their marketing. And there's another one where you hire a spy to go steal information from there. You see? And I chose the one where you look at their books, and I was wrong. The correct answer is where you hire a spy who can steal all the information from there. And that is the mindset of Coca-Cola. Now, that is the Mingalato, because now after you get that information, then you can use it to compete, make yourself competitive. That is games theory. In Mingalato is games theory. They teach it in university. They teach you game theory on how to win. That's in Mingalato. Not where you break all the rules, not where you steal. That's not in Mingalato. Who can all allow it?
So Bakombe, okay, let Bakombe respond. So Bakombe is that I want you to, this is just a guiding point, okay? Mr. Daka says, he actually says the president is misleading the nation instead of informing it. So what's your response, your reaction, whatever, to what he has said, Mr. Kombe?
Thank you so much, Mr. Nkama. I'm very happy to inform you that I'm very sad. Even now, my colleague is misleading the viewers. Imingalato does not mean cheating. The question you asked him, he twisted it and he defined it. I love it because it comes from the East and he's actually telling me the meaning of Mingalato. The one who comes from the North, from where the word stems from. My colleague is misleading viewers here. Imingalato. I'm glad that somewhere in the explanation he came back to what Imingalato means. He said, Imingalato means tactics, knowing how to win. So what is illegal about that? I am so happy under the able leadership of our President Hakainde Hichilema, Zambians can see. We don't want people who stand on an ant-hill and try and paint a picture. People can see it. People can feel what is happening. You mentioned breaking the rules. He didn't state what rules. You asked him, and he never stated what rules the UPND under HH are breaking. Okay? He also talked about Ubuntu, breaking the spirit of Ubuntu. Never pinpointed what he meant by that. See, this is what we are seeing from the opposition. And what's causing this is because of the able leadership of the president. The president has confused the opposition. They have nowhere to go to. Because whatever they, have you noticed, Vankama, none of them will state to us today where they stand as the opposition, what they intend to do differently from what the UPND is doing, and how they are going to do it. I am given a chance, I'll state where we stand. And the Zambian people can see through that. Of all their candidates that are running, they cannot say what they stand for. So this tells you, Imingalato for us has been making sure the Zambian people see what we do. Understanding the opposition, when they say things like that, calling them out, it's part of Mingalato. Right now, I'll go back to soccer, right? Arsenal right now is winning games. Teams are complaining in the league about their corner kicks, right? They crowd the box. What they do is they stay outside the 18. When the boys kick, they crowd the box to cause confusion. Guess what? It's not illegal. They are winning games using a tactic. That's exactly what Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND are doing. We're delivering, people are seeing, lives are being changed. And that's why my colleague, I'll go back to the three things. My colleague talked about misinforming the Zambian people. He didn't state what we are doing to misinform the Zambian people. He talked about breaking the law. He didn't state or cite any law that we are breaking in our politics or governance. He talked about Ubuntu, breaking the spirit of Ubuntu. Never cited one example. So these are talking points that are being used right now by the opposition. Their strategy right now is throwing, they're using the kitchen sink theory, throwing everything and hoping that something sticks. They'll never talk about themselves. So we're here to correct the record.
Let's hear from Pastor Alan what is his response, because the purpose for everybody to make this first statement and respond to the question is the UPND government playing in Mingalato in the opposition, because from the way the two of you have responded, the audience has already established where you stand. Okay, so I want Pastor Alan to give his position and his thoughts on this.
Okay, great. Well, it's interesting, but first of all, I wanted to start with saying that what is sad about Zambian politics today is that if you disagree with me, you belong to the other guy. That is just pathetic. I can't even find no need for explanation. As Zambians, we have a right, God-given right, to form an opinion, whether it's for you or against you. It doesn't mean I'm with the other guy. As a Zambian, as a human, we've got the God-given opportunity to be able to, disagree with something. And then not every person who disagrees with you becomes automatically a politician. There's always been civil society. If you are in the church, Pastor Nathan, The same people that, for instance, if they can't afford minimum, where are they running? The people in your church are living outside of that, the context of what's going on in the nation. So you're going to have an opinion. You're going to know what is right or what is wrong. But let's go back to the definition of imingalato. Imingalato, the word, like any Bemba speaking person understands that majority, if not almost all of our words are spoken in context. The same word, for example, I'll give you Milo. Milo can mean yesterday. It can also mean tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So the word itself is neutral, the context. So imingalato, when somebody says I'll use imingalato, to understand them now, you observe what they actually do. That's what tells you what they meant by imingalato. You know, because if even in the Bible it says you know them by their fruit, because words are cheap. I can tell you this, but if I am doing the opposite, then what you conclude is what exactly what I did tells you what I meant. Because then, if what I meant is not what I do, if you can't marry the two, then on which part am I lying? Right? Now, is it wrong for an organization to use imingalato? That would be foolish for any organization to go up and whether you're trying to build a business, build a marriage, build a ministry, build a political party, run a country with zero tactics. That's just foolish. It's not going to work. So everyone is going to have, but the context in which the word was used, and then other words that were used alongside that tells you when the leader uses words like fianta, in any context, and ukufianta is going to mean, oh, they're going to strangle me. And then when you begin to see people being shut down, you begin to do 1 + 1. Whether your math is wrong or it's right, you heard this say, then you are seeing this. Now the picture is painted. That we're not going to run away from. It's just the way life goes. That's and for people of Zambia, that's what is being seen. Okay, what was said. This is what is happening now. When unfortunately with our friends, when you take the exact words that they used and say, you said this, they will not want to address what they said. They will say, what is your tactic? Who are you? You when you were there. People, we were not there. Nobody put in your head to say certain words. Now, the question I'll ask Pastor is that, do the words of a leader matter? Or can a leader just say whatever they want and it doesn't matter? As long as I get what I want from you, I'm good. Because we were brought up thinking that when leadership speaks, those words matter, they carry weight, and they actually help shape the direction of society and what and how a nation carries itself. That's where I have issues with. It's where you can't say anything. Say, guys, you are wrong here. Means you belong to the opposition. That's
so. And I want to follow up.
I have a question about.
I'm coming to you, Vadaka. You yourself said to outsmart Coca-Cola, you gave 4 points, and Vahalan is saying tactics. There's nothing wrong with it as long as there's nothing wrong with it as long as you're.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with tactics, right? Even Jesus himself, they had to plan when they want to go to Galilee. They had to plan. There was a treasurer. There was their division of they're the cabinet there with Jesus, right? So there's nothing wrong with tactics. As a matter of fact, what Francis wants us to do, he wants us to spend time defining the word imingalato. You see, they call it red herring, and we won't discuss what the Upnd is doing. You see, so the real thing here, let's replace the word mingalato with another word, because what we want to say is they're misleading the people, they are cheaters. Let's just go straight then. Let's scratch it, the word mingalato, right? Now, instead of...
how are they cheating?
Yeah, they're cheating the people. Like, for example, I'll give an example, like Bill 7, right? Yeah, it was a controversial bill. Normally, the way they've made the constitution, except the Mainza Chona constitution, is you go to the people and the people say, okay, we want this in the constitution. And then they take it to parliament, they debate it, and then they pass the law. In this case, they define what the people want and they write it. And then they take it to the constitutional court, and the constitutional court says this is not legal. It's unconstitutional, right?
Okay,
So
right there,
yeah.
Badaka.
Yeah.
Why this thing was voted for by opposition members of parliament?
We haven't gotten there. We haven't gotten there, Pastor. We haven't gotten there. But the court said, as it is right now, they didn't go back to the courts because a normal person, an honest person will go back and argue in the court. They didn't go back there. So as it is right now, it's unconstitutional. Now, the way it works,
not true. That is not true.
They didn't go back. No, they didn't go back.
That is not true. Bankama, can I come in here? Because
let me finish. Let me finish.
You're cramming everything.
What he did is,
when you're explaining, let Wadaka explain.
Yeah, what he did is, he said it before when he said it, because he said everybody has a price, and he's a man with resources. He says everybody has a price. All right, and then what he did is the church, the one lady who went viral, I've forgotten her name. They went and they tried to oppose him. He tried to give them money. They had to refuse, right? He tried to give them money. And then the next day he brought in other people, gave them money.
Are you referring to the phrase, I'll use the President Trump. Trump says everything, there's nothing that's not for sale. Is that the same phrase you're using? No,
I'm talking about Mr. Hakainde.
Yes, I know.
Everybody, no, I don't want to bring in Trump because then it will legitimize Mr. Hakainde.
Trump says there's nothing.
Not Trump, because it will legitimize Hakainde. Hakainde said everybody has a price. So, and what he did is he even came up. He took the opposition members of parliament and then offered them money. Offered them money. Now, they took the money. It doesn't change the fact that the constitution was not vetted by the people. The constitution was passed using money. You understand? It was passed using money.
Do we have proof for that? Do you have proof that MPs took money? I want proof.
No. So if you watch EMV, Emmanuel Mwamba, if you watch EMV, Emmanuel, there's investigation, there's journalism. You investigate. Right? And the investigation, there is a list of MPs who say they took the money and they haven't opposed it. If I say you took the money and you don't oppose it, that means you took the money, right?
Now, if I ask you and say, you are saying you took the money and then you say no, what am I supposed to do? They didn't take the money.
No, the ones who refused. And then you know what?
That's why that money is not given out in the open.
Bamulenga was coming in and you told me to stop talking because Badaka was on the floor. But now you're reinforcing his points because he agrees with you. You and me, let's wait so that we come in and debate.
Okay. But I want to go back. Let me go back to. So that's one thing where I think is unconstitutional. The constitution that Act 13 is unconstitutional. It's the constitution that is unconstitutional, which messes up the whole thing. So they're breaking the law. That's what I meant. Okay. Now, when I said, he asked me, I didn't give an example of Ubuntu. I don't know where he was, because he was right here when I said that Edgar Lungu was blocked from going for medication. That's not Ubuntu. I meant he said I didn't give an example. I did. Now, another example, we have Emmanuel JJ Banda, who himself said I was kidnapped by the people at the State House. That's not the way we do the things in Zambia. So that's an example of Ubuntu. Now, another thing that I wanna mention here is that I am not opposition, and that is where you are every time. You know, like a carpenter thinks every problem is a hammer. You know, because he works every problem is a nail. Sorry, because he has a hammer in his hands. So when you see me saying things that are factual, and I have no interest, I have no self-interest in this. I am just for the truth. So when you see me, you say, well, you're opposition or you're patriotic front. No, I'm not patriotic front. If you look at me, I don't even have a pot belly here. I never enjoyed even a cent of patriotic front. But we're here because we have a country, and the UPND, they've done literally nothing to help the people of Zambia. Nothing. I cannot point to anything that they have done to help the people of Zambia.
Vadaka, Alan and Francis, you see, this comment here is very important. Bribing MPs is a serious offense. Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like for us in the US, you know, like trying to bribe a law enforcement officer. We all know what that entails.
Yeah.
That's why here, if the police stop you, you can't bribe them. Bribing MPs is a serious one. That's where I'm also coming from what Naomi is saying. Do you have proof? Because to make such an allegation, we shouldn't just be making statements and get away with it.
That's not an allegation. That's not. If in the future, now mark my words. So you know me, Pastor Nathan. So you obviously know that I didn't wake up in the morning to just come have fun over here.
Of course.
So all the words that I'm speaking here today, I mean every word. Now, in the future, there's going to be an independent government. Okay? And there's going to be an inquiry.
No such a thing as independent government.
There's going to be an independent government in Zambia one day. One day. No. There can be an independent. You know, if an independent candidate runs, that's an independent government. So there can be an independent government, which means they're neither UPND, they're neither patriotic. An independent person is going to come in Zambia. And when they come in Zambia, they will fix the nation. They'll start an inquiry to look at all these things that we are thinking that there was some law that was broken. And then only that, you can ask me, do you have proof? Now, the current government cannot investigate itself. So even to ask me, do you have proof, is an act of intimidation, like you have done with cyber laws and everything. Don't intimidate the people. Let the people, that's what I think, in my opinion. That's what I think, that there was people who were bribed. And I should be able to be free to speak like that.
Yes, of course. That's why we
but when they ask a question, you see, like the UPND, because they're using the law enforcement, right, to crumple on this opposition. So they will ask you this question to intimidate you so you don't speak. And they have cyber law, they have all this. No, in my opinion, I, as Kapali Daka, I woken up this morning and I woke up and I'm saying, I think the members of parliament, the PF, were bribed. Now, the members of parliament for PF, they're equally at fault. In fact, they should be investigated one day. And if indeed the crime was committed, they should be punished. And the same thing should happen to whoever bribed them. And somebody will come in that country and will clean it up.
Okay, Mr. Kombe.
Thank you so much, Bankama. Mr. Daka, you have the right to be wrong. And in this case, you are wrong. Your opinion, you are floating. Let me speak. I think I'm holding the floor.
I'm not answering
Mr. Mulenga, Mr. Chair, can you help me? You gave me the floor.
This is what I'm saying.
Moderator, you gave me the floor, and Pastor Alan wants to take my time.
Wait, Minamati. I'm saying we have done our round of introductions. Can you give time limit so that when my turn comes, I don't take 15 minutes? So that we
of course.
So going forward, if we had a little bit of time limit, so we can all have equal participation.
Yeah, that's okay. Francis, go ahead, and then we'll come to you, Alan.
Mine is the time, not necessarily, even if it goes back to Mr. Daka, but let's just give time limit so that other people can participate equally, and not one person going for 20 minutes.
Thank you very much. Like I was saying, Mr. Daka has the right to be wrong, and I'll fight for that right that he has. So in this case, he's wrong because you challenged him. You asked him questions. He's, again, like I said, the opposition, their job right now is to throw things in the air and hope that people are distracted. Let me quickly go touch on what Pastor Alan said and come back to answer what Daka said. Pastor Alan talked about Mingalato, and he said, Mingalato, he actually agrees with me in Mingalato is tactics, but he's saying it means something when we can see what you're doing. He never said what we are doing as UPND for us to be deemed as people who are breaking the law. So this is their way of talking. They'll leave things hanging. They have no courage to say, this is what you're doing. Like, I love what Badaka said. He said exactly what he thinks. But Alan was trying to play it both ways. when you're doing this and then we see something different. What is that thing that we're seeing? The emotion here is the UPND doing Mingalato, causing harm in the UPND. So he needs to tell us to say, here's the law that being broken by the UPND. He hasn't said that. So it's typical of the opposition. And again, when we say the opposition, have the courage. You're opposing what the government is doing. So we are right to say you are opposing. When we say opposition, we are not specifying that you're a PF or you're MMD or you're UDD or Sean Tembo's Navamoneka Pat. We don't care about that. You're opposing. I'm saying the government is not breaking the law. So have the courage to say, I oppose. Don't have it both ways. I am public secretary of the UPND USA Canada chapter. I'm so proud to carry that badge as a UPND member. Unapologetically. I'm here to defend the records of the president, the administration, and the party at large. But Daka said Bill 7 is a sign of how the UPND is breaking the law. He said it was illegal. He mentioned a case that we had when Bill 7 was introduced before it went into our parliament. He said the Constitutional Court, I think it was Honorable Munia Zulu, who actually sued the government. He mentioned that it was unconstitutional, Bill 7. I agree when it went to the Constitutional Court. The Constitutional Court, what did they say? Take it back to the people. The government, HH listened, and the entire UPND listened, put a pause before the vote was done. Put it back to the community, and people submitted. It's on record. People submitted what they wanted, what they feel. After all those things were collected, we took it back to Parliament, where members of Parliament, 156 members of Parliament, UPND and opposition alike, voted. Here's the breaking news about Daka and Valan. 135 members of Parliament voted for the bill. Do you know how many members UPND has in Parliament? So it shows you. And when you say the people, we involved the people twice. Because the first time we took it back to the people.
So that Valan comes in.
Okay, we took it back to the people verified it, sent it back. The members of Parliament represent constituencies, sorry. These are the people. They heard what their constituencies wanted, and they came back and voted accordingly. This issue of saying MPs were bribed without any evidence is a crime. You shouldn't do that. And if you're getting your information from Emmanuel Mwambala Daka, stop it. Stop it right now.
Okay.
You are being misled.
Let Pastor Alan respond. Okay, Pastor Alan, it's your turn.
This is the trouble that we are having in Zambia. Is that now we're being told who you can follow and not follow. Even on social media pages. Which is just shameful. When we were in opposition, we were very adamant about people being free to speak and to interact and socialize and have their own opinion. But today because you have friended that person, now you are liable to go to prison. That is very shameful. It's very shameful. And so when we say Imingalato, the results tell you what was meant by Mingalato. This is what we are seeing. It's the result. It doesn't matter what I say, Vanathan. I can say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then I come and rob you, I come and kill your children. Do I love you? So when we say it is the fruits that we look at, it's because we have been lied to. Every political party, there's certain things that they have said that other people have not agreed with. The beauty of democracy is supposed to be that you're supposed to be able to coexist without being demonized for having an opposing view. Now, when something was said in a public space that people are being bribed, and there was no public, nobody came up and publicly refuted that. If I repeat that, it is alleged that people were bribed. That should not be a crime. Because there was an allegation made by somebody who felt they had proof. So if I come and repeat that it is alleged that people were bribed, that is not a crime. You know, that cannot be a crime.
And where are we on that? Has it been debunked?
You were adamant about not being interrupted. What are you doing?
No. Bankama, you really have to moderate here. It was alleged and it has been proven.
You can respond to each other without
exactly.
Let's do this.
You don't. You see, Bamulenga, when you say it was alleged, and nobody has come to say it has. Nobody was bribed. Okay, nobody was bribed. Let's make it clear here.
No,
stop putting things there.
Francis, this is not a UPND forum. That's why we said clearly.
Okay, but PF, can you go ahead and speak?
Francis, listen. Honesty will not kill you.
You said by UPND, but PF, go ahead and speak.
No, listen, Francis. You know very well I've never been PF.
All right, you are opposing. Just go ahead. Let's discuss. You said this is not a UPND forum. What do you mean?
Okay, Pastor.
See, when you run out of points, that's what you do.
No, it's neither UPND nor PF.
Exactly. So don't bring in that. It shows that you are losing. When you're losing, you start throwing things like that.
That's why I agree with the point that Clotilde is making. I'm going to point this out. Okay. That's why I agree with the point Clotilde is making to say, just make your political position clear. Here is my next question. Okay, let's address the questions and not go all over the place. All right. Here's the next question. And for your information, I consulted a lot of people about how this conversation should go. And they gave me these questions to ask. Is the UPND how prepared? Vakombe, you can lead this question, and everybody else, let's stick to the questions, please. The UPND,
when someone is speaking, if they have 1 minute, let them finish.
Is the UPND,
you have enough time to come and do
as the UPND realize that, let's not worry about time, let's just talk and have fun. Is the UPND realize that it's not popular? That's why it's doing what it is doing by creating confusion in the opposition. Let's speak to the point. I'll let Vakombe, who is not unashamedly not denying that it's not UPND. Then the others, you can come in. Is your party doing this because it realizes it hasn't delivered, it's not popular, it's headed for a loss? That's what people are saying. So let's create a Mingalato more opposition.
Thank you very much, Bankama. If we are unpopular, we've had almost 89 by-elections. We've won 78. We've won 91% of the by-elections.
You see, let me stop you right there. I like that. Let's give credit. Let's give figures. Statistics, what do they say? Numbers don't lie, right?
Correct.
Okay. So when we are giving answers Vadaka, Alan, let's give statistical data. Go ahead.
If the opposition, they're saying we're not popular, I want them to go to the rural areas and tell that farmer who has a family, who had his or her child not go to school under the PF rule, who is now going to school. The child is going to school. Thanks to President Akainde's policy of free education. The child is not just going to school, but the child is also being fed.
No.
Let the opposition go to the rural areas, tell that elderly person who has seen a rise in their social cash transfers, that this party has to go and they need to come back. Tell the opposition to go to the rural areas and tell the Zambians that CDF, right now they are campaigning that CDF is not working. Tell the Zambian people that CDF has to go back to 1.6 million. 5 years ago, CDF was 1.6 million. The president campaigned on decentralizing the government. He has done that. He doesn't want things to be decided in Lusaka. Lusaka to have the money and decide what happens in all these local economies. The president has raised CDF. 2026, CDF is 40 million now. That money is being sent to the constituencies
Okay.
The constituency committees are comprised of church people, people from the chief, people from the communities, the youth. They decide on what projects they work on. For the first time in the history of the country, these areas are seeing development. I want the opposition to go back there and tell them this is not working. Talk to the teachers who have been employed, people who stayed for 7 years without employment. Now they're able to work. Go and tell them it's not working. If you think
now I'll be interjecting and stopping you, Mr. Daka. You don't seem to agree. Please stick to the question and the question on the floor. Don't talk about the Ichitilo Chakwa Edgar Lungu. Stick to the question.
I will stick to the question. Firstly, I actually give credit for Francis because he's trying to get water out of a stone, trying to defend the indefensible. So he's trying to defend. Now, I hope this whole distraction doesn't steal into my time. So let the clock start all over. Now,
don't worry about
Francis.
Jimmy. This is his
Francis is a tough job, trying to defend the indefensible, right? The first thing that I'll make is that he mentioned about the UPND is popular and they've won the elections. Now, if you look at the details of how they won the elections, if you look at Munia Zulu's election, replacement, that is when we were mourning in South Africa. But these people don't have the heart. They went ahead and did the elections, right? All the elections, I can go into the details and I can tell you that it is, there's a lot of cheating in it, right? Now, he mentioned about the rural area. Let me ask the people here, most of the people who are watching, what I call breadwinners in Zambia. Now, wherever you are at home, wherever you are, you may be in Florida. Does your family tell you that they're doing better now in Zambia? You don't have to send them money. That, or have they increased asking you that we are actually suffering here? Hunger has increased. You yourself, you don't have to answer that, but I want you to know. I want you to ask yourself that question. Hold on, Pastor. I haven't even started. No, I haven't even started.
No. We are going to be strict now with time. You have to make your point and hit it on the
Now, he mentioned CDF. Let me go to CDF. Okay. Right? CDF is a hoax. Okay. CDF is a scheme.
What do you mean when you say it's a hoax?
Let me give an example. Zambia, the budget of Zambia hasn't increased. You understand? But what has increased is the CDF amount. Now, one guy even gave an example. It's kind of like a parent. You have four things. You have one child named electricity, right? And you have another child named the education. And you have another child maybe named the healthcare. And then you have a new child, you call him CDF. And you take money from electricity, you take money from healthcare, you take money from education, you say, give it to CDF, so CDF can come back and give it back to you. So basically, it's just playing around with money. It's called money layering. And that is why it's ineffective. It is a conduit for corruption. Somebody's going to ask me, prove it. No, it is a conduit for corruption because there's not even a report. Hold on, Pastor. We have managed, listen, Pastor, listen. I have managed projects at a large scale, like millions of dollars. There's never been a report of where each and every dollar or kwacha is spent on CDF. And the CDF, for the people who are perceived as opposition, they don't get the CDF. So basically, you gotta be part of the UPND to get the CDF. So the whole thing actually is a hoax.
Those are very great points you make. Let me go to Roger. I'll come back because Roger is an apologetically UPND. That's why I'm going to him. Roger, welcome. Your party is not popular. They know they are going to lose the election. That's why they are playing Mingalato. Your response? That's the question on the floor.
And that is not sure an objective question. It is more of a subjective question. So let us tie that submission with objective elements, so to say. We recently had elections in Zambia, in Chawama and in Kasamba. Every one of us knows the Zambian politics. Chawama was the center for panga politics. We could have been seeing mapanga and blood on Facebook. That has all gone, and I'm sure the people appreciate that. Let's go to Kasama. Kasama is like a District 9 in Texas, the way the Republicans lost District 9. That is ground zero for Republicans in Texas.
Yeah.
And the PF, they are stronghold. If PF can't win Kasama, and all we can bring is these different accusations. PF won Kasama. One of the reasons, Wadaka, today, if you go to rural Zambia, you are not going to find a child seated on the floor. In Zambia today, every child is seated on. Let's find the pictures, or in Chadiza, or in where every child in Zambia today is seated on the. We are seeing videos. Children are being fed nothing in school. Never happened in our republic before.
Let him speak. Is UPND? Let him. You will respond.
And we are seeing videos. We are seeing videos. Not to Tushimifi Yahweh. These are evidence-based being brought. Now, I know when you have an argument, I'm sure Wadaka and probably Pastor Alan would want to stick to their point. Ine and my friend Francis will also want to stick to our but let's look at some things objectively. Not that you already parent let's examine those.
Okay. Pastor Alan, UPND is unpopular. That's why it's playing in Mingalato.
First of all, I'll start by saying this. As far as by-elections, well, remember what we were saying when the PF was winning all the by-elections. By-elections are not the true judgment of the popularity of a sitting government. That's what we used to say. So that measure can't change, even when MMD was winning all the by-elections. That's what we used to say, isn't it? So we can't change because it's the UPND that's in there. So as far as we know, they are winning because they have entire government machinery behind them. Because that's what we told the UPF, that's what we told the MMD. So the standard is the same. So that one is not, for me, that's not a true measure of popularity. If we're going to use the same measuring yardstick. Then number two, if we're going to say there are no children sitting on the floors, it is misleading. It is not that the UPND government has not increased or has not reduced the number of children who sit on floors. Have they reduced them? Probably, yes. But to say there are no children in Zambia who are sitting on the floor, even just in Lusaka, I am doing work there. They are there where children don't have chairs.
Which school?
Which school?
Go to what's the school in George Compound? What's the name of the school? Is it
Yeah, I thought so. You can't even remember the name.
No, why do you want me to tell you a school that I haven't been to?
Tell us.
No. Okay, Roger.
Okay.
Would it be good for me to tell you a school that I have not been to?
Tell us the name of the school.
No. You can go. Yeah.
Okay. Here is Alan to you. We're moving on. The people are telling me let's not dwell on the same thing for too long.
No. But
how? Yeah, finish your point, and the next question is coming to you. They need to go around to everybody. Yeah, finish your point.
So my point is, it is misleading when we say there's zero child, every school is being fed. That's where I say it's misleading. I'm not saying there are no schools that may be receiving some food. I'm not saying there are no schools where they had maybe 50 children on the floor, now there's only 2. That's practical. Even a broken watch will be correct twice a day. Could there have been made some improvements? Possibly. But my thing is, when we go back to the original thing that we're talking about, and for me, the question that we really never answered, and I was accused of something, when we said defining Mingalato, I only defined. I didn't say there's nowhere. It didn't come to a place where I could even give an example of Mingalato. I'll give you one example of Mingalato and destabilizing the opposition.
Okay.
When you have Mao Sampa being given the PF party in the middle of the night. When there is even an international presidential visit in the country, you are going to tell me that the party, ruling party, had nothing to do with that. And then when the lady that's in charge of registrar of societies gives you the original people who hold the office bearers of PF, and then she is removed, and then when after it's removed, that his document is revised, then we are going to say there's no interference from the ruling party? We can honestly, with a straight face, say that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Cleta says Mingalato is dribbling.
Yeah.
Let's
wait, Mr. Daka. From the point you made, Mr. Daka, about the people, I like this point Clotilde is making. From the first time I came to America, I've always sent money. It doesn't matter who is president. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Alan, how will the opposition address voter concerns about its internal conflicts as we head into elections? Because the nation has been crying. I'm in a lot of forums on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
The cry is, give us a flag bearer. On social media. How will everybody is going to address this question? How will the opposition address concerns about its internal conflicts as we head into the election?
The only way, in my view, which has always been for years, has been my position as far as Zambian politics go, is that if we had two political parties, it would be better. Because even if no matter how selfish I am, if I am limited to where I can go and stand, then and even the idea of people manipulating me is going to be grossly reduced. Like here, I give an example. If I'm a Republican, we go for or I'm a Democrat, I won't necessarily change my political allegiance because I did not get voted to be. Right now, the confusion that's in the opposition right now, I don't see how they, especially for 2026, I don't see how the opposition come together. There's only one way. If was by some miracle, they today said, you know what, forget everybody else, we are going to have Jack Chisanza, who is going to be our president, or Jackie Samakai is going to be our president, and they all rally behind it, they all love it, they don't care about, but that's not going to happen. That's our opposition. We see what it is right now. So that's where I stand with the opposition.
All right.
Chairman, how will the opposition address this? Because they are claiming that they are in the situation they are in because of your party, Chairman. Roger.
Okay. The opposition are in the position they are in today because they do not have any platform to run on. PF left inflation at 26 kwacha, the kwacha, at 26 kwacha, $1 to 26 kwacha. Today, the dollar to our currency is 18. Can anyone argue with that? They have no platform, nothing. PF left our government with 1.5, 1 month worth of foreign reserve. Only 1 month worth, or else Twaraba Munkongole. PF. Today, the country has 5.2 billion in the reserves. They do not have any platform. This is why you are seeing this confusion and nothing from the opposition. They don't have the message to run on. But our country was on the knees, nothing. Let's not forget this. But Dhaka, Pastor Alan, our country was on the knees.
That's not true.
Today we can breathe again. Everyone is rushing to Zambia. They want to do business with us. That's what they want to do. The opposition, Nathan, do not have a platform to run on. They would rather go, you something. To me and the Francis, we can prove at the reserves 9. We can prove that inflation is going down. We can prove that our kwacha is gaining. Our respect in the country. They can't prove anything they are saying. They can't. I can prove what I'm a desk, I'm a class. I can prove that.
Yeah.
I
No,
like
that's
but Crispin's comment: criticize UPND objectively, and people will take you seriously.
Yeah.
The question
Yeah.
of Mingalato is neither here
Yeah.
nor there.
Yeah.
And he also adds on to say, being in America is not a criterion for having wisdom.
Yeah.
Not at
Yeah.
all, Crispin.
Actually, Pastor, I've been quiet for a while. No, I've been quiet for a while.
Yeah, you were going to be next, but please, to the point.
But to the point. First of all, Clotilda, let's Clotilda, she says she's been sending money, what we're saying is UPND came so they can solve the problem. So if you've been sending money before and you're sending it now, that means the issue has not been changed. Like you're claiming like there's free education and all that stuff. So let me tell you something about the let me let you in on a little Mingalato. Actually, let's stop the word of Mingalato. UPND are cheats. So let's not use the word Mingalato. UPND are cheats. Now, Edgar Lumu came in.
Remember what Crispin is advising. Let's criticize objectively.
Yeah. So I'm not here like to claim that I have wisdom. But what I'm saying is I'm saying what I believe. Yeah, I'm saying that I have my opinion and I'm speaking my opinion. And you see a point right now. The UPND is very what can I say? They're kind of like attacking whoever comes up from the opposition. So if you came up right now and you are showing that you're getting traction, then you become a target. You can even go to jail. Now, if the opposition united in the last 1 month, in let's say July, they united, the UPND will be gone. You understand? Because the UPND is running against the people of Zambia. You're not running against the PF. What you have done, you have actually gone against the principles of Zambia. So you are not running against the opposition as you think. If the opposition unite, you guys will be gone. Now, you also mentioned we won the last by-elections. It's under the machinery of the country. It's in a country where the ECZ, the one who is the ECZ, is a cadre. The IG is a cadre. I think even the military is a cadre. We have the Speaker of the House dancing like Shalamwana. That's another cadre. So the system is not fair if you look at it. If the system was fair, under fair elections, like Professor Kasonso said, Nabwinshonko can win this. But what we are asking here, if you guys are fair, just have a free and fair election. Don't attack the opposition. Let them organize. Let them do it in a fair way. Do not have a system where even the ECZ, the whole voter registration is a lot of complaints. Can we just have a fair election? And then you can tell me if you're popular or not.
All right. Pastor Cambo says, removing a party should not be the only vision the opposition has. That's why they have nothing to sell to the people, period. Okay. There is one comment here from Bachileshe. He says, you don't know what you're talking about. PF, I think he's referring to Roger. PF left $3 billion in government coffers. All right. That's what Bachileshe is saying. Most people we talk to are complaining about how bad things are. And yes, we are sending money more than we used to. All right. Yeah. Another counteracting point there. Yeah. Everybody is going to give their view here. Akombi, have you responded to this question?
No, I haven't.
Please go and then we'll move to our next question.
Thank you very much. I don't know who wrote about the reserves. The reserves that the PF left were almost none. Okay, so for that viewer to say there was enough money in the coffers, I don't know where they get the information from. What we are stating here are facts. Okay, our colleagues here, the two, Pastor Alan and Badaka, they are stating theories. And if you've listened to Badaka very well, he's always saying, that's my opinion. Opinion doesn't mean fact. Badaka, right now, I can say, I think you're a con man. You'll be very offended. You're going to say, what do you mean? And if I just said, that's just my opinion, so I can say it, that still doesn't make it right. If we are talking politics, Ladaka, and you think the UPND has done wrong, state where we are wrong. You've also said the UPND should not attack the opposition. What does that mean? We're just defining you and stating where you are, what you stand for, and what you believe. We're not attacking you. This is politics. You are defining us. You are attacking us.
Understand me. You're twisting my words. So it's very hard. No, Pastor. It's very hard. That is why you're twisting my words.
No, but Daka, let me finish, then you respond.
Let him finish, you are going to respond.
Yes. You said the UPND should not attack the opposition.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
from the beginning, from the jump, you've been attacking the UPND, right? Saying we are corrupt, we are breaking the law, but you're not stating examples where you think we're breaking the law.
I gave you the example. I told you about Bill 7. I gave you the example. I gave you Bill 7. I gave you so many examples.
Let you finish and you are going to respond.
Yeah, you spoke. Let me allow me to respond. I never responded when you were speaking. You keep on circling back to us breaking the law. But that law that we are breaking, you cannot state it. You cannot give examples. You are saying
you an example.
The elections were fraud. For the first time in Chawama, we saw two parties.
I didn't say the elections were fraud. Did I say that? Don't put words in my mouth.
That's what you said. You said the
big. They were fraud. No.
No. Let me bring it back. You said we have that IG who's a cadre. You think the IG is a cadre. Yeah. So you're saying we're manipulating the elections, right?
I never said the elections were fraud. So this Francis guy, right?
No. Allow me to finish my point without being interrupted.
Mr. Daka, let Francis finish.
Calm down, Mr. Daka. But Daka, you said ECZ chair is the cadre. You said the IG is the cadre. That's why elections are being run the way they are being run, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you say that? So I'm coming back to you. I want to give you an example. You want Chawama. You want Chawama, which is a green constituency. PF constituency since 2001.
PF stronghold, yeah.
PF stronghold, held by the former president, his daughter. We campaigned in Chawama. For the first time in the history of our country, we saw two opposite sides campaigning on the same street, waving at each other. Did you see that under PF? Law and order. You want Chawama, we gave it to you. I give it to you. Congratulations. The election was fair and you won. So if the elections that you win are not a problem, why do you want to make the elections that you lose a problem? You can't have it both ways. Chawama, you won, hands down. We'll meet you again in August and we'll campaign. So this thing of saying you're blaming you're basically blaming the tools. The IG is corrupt, the speaker is that, the ECZ is that. You've noticed from the beginning, you cannot say where you stand as the PF. What are you going to offer differently from what HH is offering? And how are you going to do it? Instead of throwing things in the air and saying they are corrupt, they're not popular. We're not worried about that. The people of Zambia will decide on the 13th of August who is popular.
Yeah, that's
excellent.
Talk about where you stand.
No. I want you to read this statement. Mr. Daka, this is directed to you. I want you to read that comment there, okay? Dr. Nyendwa says, please withdraw the statement you made about the speaker as a woman. I take offense to that statement. You said she was dancing.
She was dancing. I said she was dancing.
Like Shalamwana. You said she was dancing like
in my opinion, the moves, they remind me of. So what is wrong with Shalamwana? Shalamwana is a woman.
That's what you meant. Shalamwana is known for dancing seductively. Yes. So is that what you mean?
Yes. But what is wrong with Shalamwana though? Did I compare the speaker to something bad? Are you saying Shalamwana is less than a woman? So see what you're trying to play with. You intimidating a people. Shalamwana is a woman intimidating you.
Mr. Daka, listen to me, everybody here.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I know the lady who's putting this statement here. Just look at the statement. Please withdraw the statement you made about the speaker as a woman.
Pastor, I have no idea who made that. who made this comment. But what I'm saying is, unless someone tells me, like, to compare someone to Shalamwana, who was like a famous artist, is a bad thing.
Because
I don't
she used to
understand.
dance, like Francis, I said, seductively. That's the issue there. You don't get the point. You know Shalamwana by Antoine Kane. I don't want us to dwell on this, but that's an important point right there, Mr. Daka. In other words, okay, let's be careful what we say here. All right.
Yeah, let's continue talking here, because
my next question is this to the four of you. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a political situation in the country. Does the opposition's government current situation pose a risk to Zambia's democratic process? Or is it or we are just going to say that's how we do politics in Zambia? In other words, if you in the country, is it an acceptable situation, or it poses a risk to our democracy? Roger, you go first.
What is happening?
Pastor, you skipped me. Pastor,
No, I didn't.
You did. Francis.
Please,
no, Francis.
Let
Francis.
Roger go first. I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Well, it's skipping.
It does. It does. Because to have a functioning democracy, Nathan, we need a strong opposition.
Okay.
And currently, we cannot speak of that in the nation. The confusion we are seeing in the main opposition, the PF, the confusion we are seeing there. If we had an irresponsible government, they could do a lot of damage. So for proper checks and balances, we need a responsible opposition. Today, every one of us, Badaka included, Achali, Francis here, no one can speak of our opposition as a responsible. But no one can come to the office. Ababambi, they are this, no one can do this. And to me, that is a danger. It is a danger. We need our opposition to get organized fast. As a person
somebody says,
UPND,
Roger,
do I want my party to have more control in the country? Yes. But at one point, there will come a responsible government. If we continue having opposition this way, we are in trouble.
Roger, somebody says, how can you speak like that when it's your party destabilizing the opposition?
That is our role. That is our right. As the people in power, is to make sure you destroy the opposition. Now, the opposition, you cannot blame us at you if we're making opposition strong so that they'll be fighting us. Our role is to make sure we destroy them. It is up to them to wise up. Up to them to wise up. We have a country to protect. We have a country to defend. We need to organize together. That is not the role of UPND. The UPND is to make sure the opposition in any country you are going to go is to make sure the opposition is destroyed. So you cannot blame the ruling party for in that case.
So, Mr. Daka, does the current situation pose a risk to Zambia's democratic process?
Like I said, yes, it does. Now, I start out by saying that in a game of chess, there are rules. If you break the rules, then the other person will be so stupid to keep following the rules. What the opposition has been doing, they've been following our norms, while the ruling party is breaking the rules that I mentioned. Now, Francis, in his opinion, I'm a conman. Now, I have seen this gentleman a couple times, but I will tell you that I will put my reputation against his in all areas of my life. So you will notice that I will have better reputation than his. If you notice, most people have never seen my face before. Why am I speaking now? I have minded my own business here in the US because things have gone out of hand. That is why I'm speaking. And I'm saying if we don't follow the rules, the opposition will also stop following the rules. Countries break. Walls erupt.
What rules is UPND breaking? What rules is UPND breaking?
I just told you there's several things like the opposition, like let's say Mano Banda is no longer in. How many opposition have lost their seats because of these dubious ways? So they're not following the rules. What will happen even in a house if you don't follow the rules as a father? The kids will adapt. They'll come up with better ways of dealing with you. And countries do break. So these things that you're saying here are offensive and they can actually destabilize the country. But then Francis accused me of not having facts. Where in 2020, 2021, you cannot in your sane mind and say, well, they didn't leave reserve. The whole world, the whole universe was on its knees because of COVID. You understand? Even the United States was shut down. The economy of the United States was bad in 2020, 2021. And a sane person wouldn't get that picture and compare it to now. Now, I want to speak quickly about the things that the UPND is doing wrong. We can have a debate about the things that the opposition ought to do. Firstly, they are saying the dollar has gained. I mean, the kwacha has gained against the dollar. No, it is not the kwacha which has gained. It is the dollar which has devalued. Any economist out there should can compare what the dollar has been doing against other currencies because of global economical things that are happening, like tariffs and etc. So the kwacha is not doing well. Secondly, the price of electricity has increased. The reason it has increased, if you understand about electricity, how it comes to Zambia, you will understand that there is a lot of tariffs and fees that are paid for it to come to Zambia. Previously, electricity was not coming to Zambia. So now electricity is coming to Zambia. That is evidenced by the load shedding has reduced. But you know what? They've increased the tariffs. And that is why the price of electricity has increased. Now, you are at home there. You will feel that you're paying more for electricity. And you will notice that even if the dollar on the kwacha has gained, your economical situation hasn't improved. These are facts that you're feeling there at home. Irrespective of the spin, irrespective of what Francis says here, what are you feeling at home?
Okay, Pastor Alan.
So that's
does the current situation pose a risk to Zambia's democratic process?
The current situation does, absolutely. That's why, like I said before, my opinion, there should be two political parties, which are maybe to an extent like South Africa, they support their opposition parties. It reduces the people jumping from one pot to the other one coming to destabilize this and all that. That is factual. We need that. Even before, it's not even about the UPND. I had that opinion before the UPND came in. Because you know what, every ruling party comes in and does the same thing. Every opposition says they are going to shut down what's this, what do you call it, the Public Order Act. And when they are in office, none of them do it. Everybody, when they're in opposition,
that one, everybody, we all know everybody has failed.
Exactly. So that's just an example that I'm giving because our friends here are talking about things like we don't know what we're talking about and just putting out facts. Like, for instance, 1991, the kwacha to the dollar was not at 26. It just wasn't. You know, so was it high? Yes. We can agree that something is high without exaggerating. Just like when I said, yes, maybe the number of kids that are sitting on or that are no longer on the streets and not in school has reduced. But to say that every child is in school would be wrong. You know, so those things, they matter when we are speaking about our economy. When we are in the game of politics, it shouldn't necessarily be about whatever the other guy says is wrong, what I say is what is right. We should all, as Zambians, be trying to move the country forward. If I can say, yes, you have built an airport without going to a sausage airport, but I think we can do better. You spent 10 million, that thing only costs 2 million. That's fair. So now when we point out the tumbusu which are not finished, we come and say now we are vilified. You were laughing at the sausage airport. You have people at things that you have not finished building. That becomes now an issue. Is what I mean. So there are things that definitely that we can point, and if we want to stick to things that were said by leaders, the reason why we got up and ran to vote for you, you were running around with Tupamela. Tupamela, people can't even call them Pamela anymore now because it's become so bad. They're just called Pam. Because those things are factual. On the streets, those things are there. We can have discussions about that without becoming personal and becoming insulting to the individual. instead of just saying what the fact is on the ground. That is why, if anything, when the opposition voice out, you can't just dismiss everything. You should be able to say, why are these people saying this? Can we do something about it? When we are going around saying by 14 hours, this, and the other. Now you want to tell us that you didn't say that. When things are recorded, they are there. These are the things that you said you would do. Yeah, you can come back and say, you know what? We thought we could fix it by this time. However, it's going to be this. That's okay. But the opposition, turning back to the opposition, they are so, and unfortunately, politics is not a game of service today in Zambia. It is where I go to earn a paycheck. So everyone is wanting to get the money at all costs. Whether it's the same thing with the opposition, same thing with the ruling guys. They can say whatever they want, but at the end of the day, if they had hearts for the people, some of the things that they would think, you can promote, you can say we are making gains here without ridiculing people that are actually suffering. Some of it as a consequence of your actions. You can say, yeah, this is going bad, but we need to fix this first. That will be acceptable. But the way that we are treated, when you just, that's why I don't like people mentioning me as a PF cadre. It is insulting. And that you're trying to put my life in danger. Because we know the people that are being beat up and killed are being beat up. And then you come and mention my name. What sort of a person are you?
Rambo Mwenso.
Let me make a correction.
Rambo Mwenso, it's my fear. I have a right to be afraid. Because you're not going to take care of my kids. I have a right to be afraid. If it's
let me make a correction.
A lie on my name, something that I'm not.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable.
Roger wants to make a correction.
Vadaka said it is the dollar which has weakened.
Yes.
And that is partly true. But when you compare where I am here in Canada and the dollar next door, it has not gained at a rate Kwacha has gained.
It's still the same rate.
When we compare South African rand to the dollar, it has not gained at a rate the Kwacha has gained.
Yeah. So let me clarify that.
So,
let me clarify.
I want to read this, Mr. Banda, please. But Crispin says something which I need to make a confession to. Okay, Pastor, please realign the format. Is basically trying to suggest that we create a calling system. Roger started working with me on this. It's me who needs to step up my act. All right. Roger has already given me the assignment to do that and everything else. We will work on that by Crispin so that people are able to call in. Actually, that's the way this show used to be before. You know, people used to call in and give their views on what. I think it was better that way, right?
Yeah. So let me answer.
No. We are ending. I need to go to the final comment here. I'm ending. I don't want to.
Hey, he made Mr. Roger there made a comment about me.
No.
He said that.
Hold on. Let me just finish my point. So I was talking about the strength of the Kwacha. Bloomberg was the one which was lifting up our currency as the world most performing. Yes, all other currencies have been.
Let me explain.
No, we don't have time for you to explain. We are ending. we do not have time for explaining that. We can have another discussion.
He's wrong. Roger is wrong.
Roger
is wrong.
You can make your explanation in your final comment, everybody, in 30 seconds. Let me start with Francis. Where is our democracy headed? Zambia decides 2026. You as UPND, what do you see the outcome?
I see the president winning the second term. Do I like what's happening? No. Just like Roger said, we need a strong opposition for checks and balances. But what Zambian people now are seeing are a group of people who are not leaders, who are petty, who are fighting amongst themselves. They are showing you how, if you bring them back into power, how they are going to govern this country. Let us not take this risk. We have made so many gains. Zambia now is our currency is the second, actually the first in the world performing currency in the world. today. It's not by chance. It's because of the policies that the president has made. Look at all these policies, free education. We have a bumper harvest. It's not by chance. The president, when he started all these places where he was using the army to grow crops throughout the year, people were laughing. But we've seen results. For the first time now, we have a bumper harvest of a record that we cannot even break down. The government right now, we see so many countries that are coming to trade with the country. When the president was moving around the country, around the globe, trying to reestablish relationships with all these governments, assuring people what Zambia is, people were laughing. They called him names. They called him Marco Polo. Today he sits at State House. In the last 90 days, we've seen leaders from all over the globe trek to Zambia to come and have a bite. It's because the president made those rounds. His job was to stabilize the economy, and he has done it. This is why you have to vote this man back, or else all these gains that we've made will go away. Right now, we are producing for the first time. We are in the top 10 manufacturing, top 15 manufacturing countries in Africa for the first time. Through our fertilizer, we are supplying to 8 countries. These are things that were not happening under the PF. So all these gains, social cash transfers, free education, employment everywhere, investment, direct foreign investment, increasing in the country. If you bring in the PF, we'll lose all these things. So vote Hakainde in August and bring back every MP and more.
Thank you. Alan, your final comment?
Yeah, I go back to my first statement that I made. The words of leaders matter. What we say and promise matters. It is not good. We can, fine. Kudos to all the Bloombergs and everything that we have done. But the most important thing that we promise the Zambian is not that we are going to be on the Bloomberg and we're going to be on this. What we promise the Zambian is that your life is going to get better. And unfortunately, we gave timelines. And if today the lives of the Zambians are not better, like I'll always say, if the UPND succeeds and delivers to the Zambian people the actual things that we promised the Zambian people themselves will be the first ones to be clapping and swinging from tree to tree, singing your praises. That is not that, but to pretend and to tell the Zambians that you are not hungry when they are hungry, that is what is wrong with our politics today. The opposition, it is a shame. But I will also state this, that the condition of the opposition in Zambia today did not start with the UPND, if we are to be honest. It's things that have been trickling. That's why over the years I've been consistent in saying we need a structure which will ensure
political structure
politicians in their own parties. So then we can forget about our own stomachs and begin to look objectively at how to move the country forward. Because what's going to happen is that come 2031, when the UPND is kicked out, the other people are going to start now prosecuting, spend 5 years taking them to jail and prison and court systems. It's the same thing. The same cycle is going to happen again until the opposition, we fix the structure of our politics in Zambia.
Excellent. Thank you. Mr. Daka, your final comment?
See, none of us here are God. For one to say with confidence that the UPND will be in power come August. We don't know what God can do. And to God, even a day means a lot. Now, today, what I have heard, I haven't heard any hope from the UPND. I've only heard that they are bent on misleading the people. We're not going to use the word Mingalato. We're not going to spend time, but misleading a people. So to say, a group of conmen. Barry came, now is a your body to me. Francis mentioned of fertilizer, like we manufacture fertilizer in Zambia. Just a few weeks, women were arrested for being filmed sharing fertilizer. If we manufacture fertilizer, why would the women get arrested because they're getting 1 cup fertilizer? Now, when it comes to Roger, he mentioned, and by Roger, very nice to meet you actually. I've been watching you. UPND to come. So when it comes to the dollar and the kwacha, imagine this way. Class, so you 30%. Okay? And then for some reason you gain, because some external thing happens, now you gain, now you're at 50%. They're gonna look at you like you have improved greatly because you see, what happened is with the dollar, like dollar is about economics. and it's about commodities. When Trump had tariffs, right, where you couldn't import certain commodities, the countries that are doing commodities like copper, right, stabilized. That's what stabilized the dollar. He has done nothing. The dollar stabilized. The dollar itself has stabilized the kwacha because he has done nothing. No policy has helped that whole process. Now, I would like to end by a plea. What I heard today is very worrying. What I heard today is we are still divided, and there is no way you can get across to the other person. Because I came here not as a patriotic front. I came here as a Zambian. You've never seen me, but now I'm concerned, and that's why I'm speaking. And that is the concern that we have for our country. But what I've heard is there's some words and strategies and imingalato and crooked things that are being put together so they can win the election. So I came here worried, and I'm still worried even more.
To your point, Mr. Daka, that's why I didn't introduce any of you here as being PF, UPND, whatever. Remember the statement I made before Roger gives his final statement?
Yeah, because I'm not PF.
Now I know. Let me finish what I'm saying. The statement I made, everybody bears witness. I said the audience is going to determine each individual's political affiliation by the way you be speaking. That's what I said. Mr. Chairman, your final
comment. But the problem with that,
by the way, good to have my good friend here.
Final comment.
Final comment.
Daka, before I joined, I was listening. He said, "Oh no!" When I was here, he was saying there is no budget. Ile pamulu YCDF in. You might be right. I want to submit today. Ukweva chakale. By now, 4 years ago, ngana tumfuati ama fire trucks 1 million fire trucks now. Endarama number today umfanomba shreisa number kuli CDF. That's the money going to CDF. We had someone go to collect millions of dollars in Turkey. Alesta ama helicopters. That is the money, Nathan. Now we are hearing is making desks in Zambia. Yes. We used to see by PF, but they were Darama because there was too much money in the nation. They were burning in Darama in the nation. Today, UPND chairman and the listeners is increasing the price of maize for the farmers to pay the farmers. So before, yes, the money is being misdirected because of corruption. Of those people corruption. And that's why the Zambian people cannot entertain PF. That one I can tell you. They cannot entertain PF. Today, that money is being directed. It was Tayari who said, do you think HH will apero muntu 3 million?
No, PF is dead. PF is dead. Let's not talk about PF. PF is dead.
It's my flow. Let me end. Let me end. This is why we have seen free education in our country is ending. In the pipeline, we are seeing electricity very, very soon. This power shortfalls will be things of the past. 23 million at one point in Zambia in the 70s. 3 million, we had Kariba River. Today, we are 22 million. Still Kariba River.
Still Kariba Dam.
Anybody.
But he hasn't fixed it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can promise you, give us another 2 years, Zambia will be exporting energy in the entire region. It has been
what happened to 14 hours? What happened to 14 hours?
14 hours.
But to pair my examples, Yama School, you didn't cite the name of the school.
I wanted to say something about the toilets. Vamulenga talk about the peat latrines. Those peat latrines, I'm speaking. Vamulenga. You talked about the toilets. You talked about the well.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you.
But he mentioned the name. He talked about toilets.
Don't talk
you are interjecting,
I mentioned the specific school. That is in the area.
What is the name of the school?
Pastor Cambo has made.
What is the name?
That's your problem.
Okay, thank you. So, Bankama, he mentioned something about the toilets. I want to break it down to him. The toilets, the MP who was there in Tomalandi,
statement.
PF,
sure.
Aba ibire 12 million. For 50 years, you put the people of Kwacha without toilets. For 50 years.
Have you seen
It's a Pangana toilet. And you have the guts today to condemn.
The toilets are useless. I said you have failed to complete the toilet.
But you never built anything for them, Imweka Idi.
Never been there.
But you never built anything for them. So how do you condemn them? Number Bakwatama toilet.
I've never been there.
I'm saying, have you seen Pastor Campbell's comment?
What
we
is
have listened and we can judge.
Yeah.
That is the purpose of a conversation like this.
That's good.
For the Zambian people to listen and they will make their own judgment.
Correct.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thank you, Pastor Alan. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, my brother, Kapale. Chairman, thanks for taking the time to be here.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Yeah,
yeah.
Hello, Madaka. You said what's happening to the kwacha and the dollar? It's automatic. What is happening to the relationship between the kwacha and the dollar? It's mainly because of the policies yakwa HH. You decide. No, let me finish, Kaidi. So Moneni, in May, the administration came up with a policy. Through goals, you say at all transactions will be transacted in the local currency. Do you know what that did to the demand of the dollar?
If you speak,
people started selling the dollar.
I will have no choice but to let Daka also respond to what you are
saying.
Yes,
yes.
Sure.
Kopa you cannot say Mulandu Kopa ya Isafe. Production ya Kopa na ikwela because ya kwa HH. More investors are coming and now mining the
Anyway, we'll see you next week. Everybody, thanks for your time.
Back room. Usually we stay on after the show.
No, those who want to stay can stay on. Those who want to stay can stay on. But the show has ended. We will thank you everybody for tuning in. We shall see you next week on another show. And I'm trying to bring on the, what are they calling it? Council of Elders, something like that. I'm also working on bringing somebody, I think somebody was a former Electoral Commission of Zambia director, that's what they used to call them before, to explain to us this delimitation thing and how it's going to be done. Thank you. I hope you learned something from this conversation. In no way are we claiming to have the wisdom about Zambia's politics. We are citizens, we are concerned people. We were simply giving our perspective based on what we are seeing and reading into the situation.
Zambia Blog Talk Radio.